Hi guys, today I'm going to be trying on the newly released Dior Quint. It is Golden Bouquet. This one is a neutral lover's dream. It's really beautiful and the embossing on it is absolutely stunning. And I've already got eyeshadow on because as soon as I saw this palette from Instagram photos and also when I received it, I immediately thought of an absolute favorite Dior Quint of mine, and that is the one Grand Ball. And that's the one I've got on at the moment. And it's now quite late in the afternoon here, but I put this on first thing this morning and it still looks as beautiful as when I put it on. So out of all the Dior Quints that I have, and I have quite a few now, I do reach for Grand Ball. I love it. It is such a beautiful neutral eyeshadow palette and has really gorgeous shimmers in it and also a really lovely metallic shade as well. So for the eye look today using the Grand Ball, I used about, I think it was probably about 3 shadows. It might have been 4 out of the 5, but I think I only used about 3 of them. So I haven't tried on this new Quint, the Golden Bouquet, yet. I've done a lot of swatches and done a reel for Instagram and photos for Instagram as well, but I haven't tried it on. But just from looking at it, it does appear to be a more subdued version of Grand Ball, but it looks really beautiful. And from the swatches, it appears to be mattes and satins, but there doesn't appear to be any metallic shades or topper shades. For my foundation today, I'm wearing the La Mer foundation. It's the Soft Fluid Long Wear foundation. And for blush, I'm wearing, well, it's new to me and it is fairly newly released. It's the Laura Mercier one. It's a blush colour infusion and this is the shade All That Sparkles. I think it's really beautiful. And the lipstick is one of the newer Laura Mercier ones as well. And the shade that I'm wearing is Crystal Rose. So I think the blush and the lipstick are just really beautiful. But all the makeup that I've got on at the moment, as well as the one that I'm going to try, the beautiful Golden Bouquet, I'm going to have listed and linked in the description box below. So the box that the Quint came in is the standard Dior box. This one has a matte finish on it. There is 7 grams of product. It is made in France. And like all the other Dior Quints, it has a shelf life of 6 months from date of opening. Now I've had Dior Quints a lot longer than that, including Grand Ball, which I'm wearing today, and it performs just beautifully. So I'm just going to take the applicator sponge and little brush that comes in these Quints out so it doesn't fall out. And the packaging itself is just the standard Dior packaging. This is glossy. It hasn't got a matte finish like those velvet Quints that were put out a little while ago. So I'll open her up. It has the usual mirror inside. And here is the colour story of Golden Bouquet. This is absolutely beautiful and I hope that the camera is picking it up. What I will do when I'm editing, if I remember, I'll also put up a photo that I took in natural light as well to the side. So you can see what it looks like in natural light as well. And then I've also got Grand Ball in front of me as well. And I'll just take the 2 applicators out of there as well. And I'll hold them up side by side. So this one is 539 Grand Ball. And this one is the 509 Golden Bouquet. And from swatching them, even though I haven't tried it on yet, Golden Bouquet doesn't have the metallic or the shimmers that Grand Ball does. So I'll swatch both of these Quints on my arm now, and also when I'm editing I will insert a picture of swatches that I did of both palettes that I took in natural light. So these are swatched from left to right and top to bottom and the middle shade last. So this palette here is Golden Bouquet and here is Grand Ball. So hopefully you can see them. So in Golden Bouquet, this second shade here, you can hardly see it. I'll probably use this shade first all over my lid. This is a satin. This I think is a matte. I'm not quite sure. I won't really know till I put it on my eyes. This is a satin as well. This is also a satin and this one is a matte. And with Grand Ball, you've really got these shimmer and metallic shades. So this is a topper and this is a topper at a grand ball, and these two are metallics. And this shade here doesn't seem as pigmented as the one in Golden Bouquet. And this is a matte, just like the one in Golden Bouquet as well. And even though the beautiful floral embossing in this quint will eventually wear away from use, this is probably the 4th time that I've swatched from this palette, so it is holding up fairly well, and the embossing inside still looks really, really beautiful. So I imagine it will last quite a while. So now I'm just going to remove the Grand Ball eyeshadow and try out the Golden Bouquet. So I'm going to take the Sonia G, the Jumbo Blender, and I'm going to go into this lightest shade here, and I'm going to put this all over my lid. As I was saying before, I haven't actually tried this palette on yet, so this is the first time, so it'll be interesting to see what it's like. I'm not going to be able to get that shimmer out of it like the Grand Ball one, but I still think that this is going to give a really beautiful look. I'm going to take the Refaat number 14 and I'm going to go into this shade here, and I will put this through the crease. Now this is a satin. I can see just a little bit of shine on there as I'm blending it. And then using the same brush, I'm now going to go into this shade here, and I'm just going to put this through the crease just to deepen things up a little bit. Then I'm going to take the Sonia G, this is the Blender Pro, and I'm going to go into this darker shade, the one in the middle. This is a matte shade. I'm going to be able to use this to give definition to my upper lash line and lower lash line as well. This is quite pigmented, this shade. Well, it was when I swatched it. So I'm just going to put this in the outer corner. If I want more depth to it, I will use a different brush once I've put it on with the blender, because the blender is quite a fluffy brush. So I'm going to take it up, but not too far. I'm going to take the Sonia G, this is the soft definer, and I'm going to stick with the darker shade, and I'm going to put this on my lower lash line. And the soft definer is really good because, again, this is quite a fluffy brush, and to begin with I just want just light coverage under here. Then I'm going to take the Chukuhodo brush, this is the F06, and I'm going to go into this shade here, and I'm going to put that over the other shadow and through here and just through to the center. Then I'm going to take the Refaat number 3, go back into the darker shade, and I'm just going to add just a little bit more just on the outer third here. And then I've just wiped down the same brush, and I'm going to go into this shade here, and I'm going to put some just through here, and I'll also put some just in the inner corner as well. So for an eyeshadow palette that looks fairly subtle in pictures, and also when you look at it in the pan, it actually can pack quite a punch on the eye, and I think it looks really beautiful. So now I'm just going to take the Chukuhodo. This is the F08 brush, and I'm going to use the darker shade to give some definition to my upper lash line. So I've now put some mascara on, and this is the final look. And considering that I thought I would only get a very, very soft look out of this quint, it's a lot more bold than I thought it would be. And I think it's really, really beautiful. It blended beautifully, and all the shades just work well together. It's just really pretty. You could make it even softer than this, or you could even go bolder if you wanted. This darker shade here has a lot of pigment, and I only used quite fluffy brushes to put it on. I didn't have to use a brush that was more dense to try and get any pigment out of it. It's just really, really gorgeous. And I don't think I mentioned at the beginning of this video that this quint is limited edition. It's for sale in the US, and it's also for sale in some, if not all, European countries. And those of you in Australia and New Zealand, it's also available on the Dior website. So I am absolutely thrilled that I picked this quint up. The floral embossing is absolutely gorgeous, but I'm also really surprised at how this looks on the eye. I really thought this was going to be a softer quint than Grand Ball. Now, Grand Ball does have more of the sparkle in it, but this one is still really beautiful. With these shades through here, you get a really lovely look. And this deepest matte shade, considering I only used brushes that were fairly fluffy and weren't too dense, I think you get great payoff, and it really has beautiful pigment. So I'm really pleased that I picked this up. And I think between the two quints, you could even mix them up and create an eye look using both of the quints. I think that would be really, really gorgeous. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you next time. Bye.